Good morning, everyone. It's Cheryl here from Love and Light Yoga, and the reason I say good morning is because chances are, if you're on this video, it is morning because this is going to be a quick morning flow. So I am going to take it that you have been out of bed for a little bit of time. We're a little bit loosened up through those joints and through those muscles, and we are ready for a little bit of a wake-up call. So if you would like to join me for this quick morning yoga flow, let's begin. So we are going to begin today at the front of our mats in our mountain pose. So take your gaze down towards your feet. You want to have your feet about hip distance apart, soles of the feet pressing down into the floor. We want to feel one big long line, all of our bones stacking on top of each other, our ankles, our hips, our shoulders, and then our head. We want to roll the shoulders back and open, let the palms of the hands face forward, and close your eyes here. So just taking a few deep breaths, just allowing that breath to come into the body, starting to grind down through your feet. Maybe even starting to think about what kind of day we would like to have. Possibly setting a little intention for yourself for this practice or for the rest of today. And then allow the eyes to open back up. And let's get started with a little bit of movement to link up with this nice deep breathing that we have created. So as we inhale, we're going to open the arms out to the side, take the palms up nice and high, let the palms come together, and then take a nice deep bend through the knees. Start to slice those hands all the way down through the center towards the floor, coming into your forward fold. So we can keep a nice generous bend in the knees here, almost like you were resting your belly down on top of your thighs. Let your head hang heavy, and then as we inhale, we're going to find our halfway lift. So slide the hands up to the shins. We're going to keep a nice flat back. As we exhale, come all the way back down to your forward fold. On an inhale, we're going to plant the hands, start to step the feet back into your plank, and we're going to release the knees to the floor. So we're almost in a half plank here. Take a big breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to start to bend at the elbows. Slowly lower your body all the way down to the floor. Keep the elbows hugging in. And then on an inhale, roll your shoulders back. Open up into your cobra. Exhale, lower it back down. As we inhale, we're going to press our hips up and back. Find your child's pose here. So stretch your arms long. Feel all of the space in through the lower back. You can release your forehead to the mat. Take a couple of deep breaths here. And then after your next exhale, come up into tabletop. We're just passing through. We're going to come up into our downward facing dog. So toes roll under. We're going to lift our hips high, send them back, and we can keep a nice deep bend in the knees here. Downward facing dog, possibly our first one of the day. So keep the knees bent. Keep pressing through the hands. Again, almost like we were trying to rest our belly down on top of our thighs, our sternum reaching towards the floor, no tension in through the neck. Take a few deep breaths here. And then after your exhale, send your gaze up in between your hands and very slowly bend the knees, walk the hands all the way up and in between the hands. Forward fold. As we inhale, we're going to reach the hands up nice and high, and exhale our hands down to our hearts. Nice, let's take that little flow one more time. So on an inhale, we're reaching the hands up nice and high, palms together. Exhale, hands slice down through the center, bend the knees into your forward fold. Inhale, find your halfway lift, keep a nice flat back. As we exhale, hands plant onto the floor, we're going to step back into our plank, drop the knees to the floor, take a big breath in. As we breathe out, nice and slowly lower everything down to the mat. Inhale to roll the shoulders back and lift into the cobra. Exhale, release down, press through the hands and send your hips back into your child's pose. A few deep breaths here. And then when we are ready to release after your next exhale, we're going to lift the hips up and we're going to find our downward facing dog. So toes roll under, we're going to lift the hips high, send them back. Again, keep a nice deep bend in through the knees. Notice how your body's feeling. Maybe start to bend and straighten each knee at a time. Just getting a little bit of movement in, wakening up the hamstrings and the back line of the body. Come back to stillness, bent knees. We're going to send your gaze up in between your hands and then start to walk or step all the way up in between your hands into your forward fold. Inhale, let's rise up, lift the hands up nice and high, palms together. Exhale, palms down to your chest. Nice, let's go one more time, see if we can bring the tempo up a little bit. So as we inhale, reach the hands up nice and high, palms together. Exhale, come down into your forward fold. Knees can be bent or straight here. As we inhale, find your halfway lift, keep a nice flat back. Exhale, plant the hands down and step back into your plank. Knees can come to the floor if you wish, or we're going to keep it high. Can we find a little rock forwards and backwards on the wrists? Just wakening up the backs of the legs, waking up the ankles and the wrists. Come back to stillness. We're going to find a chaturanga here. So as we inhale, send the weight forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, hug them in towards the sides, and then inhale. Open up into our upward facing dog. As we exhale, roll or step over the toes, press yourself back into your downward facing dog. We can maybe start to come to straight legs this time, or we can keep the knees bent if that's more comfortable. But just breathe here. Let's find a little bit of movement once again. So just walking out the dog, bending and straightening each knee at a time. And then coming back to stillness. If the knees were bent, can we work them into a little bit more of a straight leg? Or if the legs are already straight, can we release those heels a little bit further towards the mat for one big inhale and a full exhale. Nice. Send your gaze up in between your hands, bend the knees, step or hop all the way up in between the hands, forward fold. Inhale to rise up, reach up with the hands. Exhale, hands to our heart space. Nice, take a big breath in here. Full breath out. And we'll do the same thing again. So inhale, reach those hands up nice and high, palms together. Exhale, come down into your forward fold, bent or straight legs. Inhale, find your halfway lift, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we're going to step back into our plank. We're going to see if we can hold. So we're really pressing the mat away. We're pressing our upper back away. We hold for 3 and 2 and 1. And then as we inhale, we send the weight forward. Exhale, bend the elbows, lower down halfway, and then inhale to open up into our upward facing dog. Exhale, come back into your downward facing dog. Nice. Can we work the legs a little bit more open here at the back? Maybe we find a little bend and straighten of the legs. Or maybe we start to take the knees on a little bit more of a diagonal, just getting into the hips a little bit. Let's come back to stillness, back to your downward facing dog for one big inhale, a full exhale, and then send your gaze up in between your hands, bend the knees, step or hop all the way up in between the hands, halfway lift, exhale into your forward fold, and then inhale, root through the feet, rise up, hands come up, palms together, exhale, hands down to your heart space. Nice, let's go one more time with that, finding a few little modifications this time, or additions I suppose. So here we are, we're going to root down through the feet, we're going to find a nice big inhale, reach the hands up nice and high, palms together, exhale, slice those hands down through center into your forward fold, and inhale, coming into your halfway lift. From here, we're going to stop and we're going to plant the right hand down, bring a little bit of a bend in through the right knee, and we're going to inhale to reach the left hand up high. So we're open through the chest, we are stacking the left shoulder on top of the right shoulder, opening up through the backs of the chest, the back of the legs, the upper back, the chest. Take a nice big inhale. As we exhale, let's lower that hand down, plant the left hand onto the mat, and we're going to bend the left knee. We're going to straighten out the right leg, reach up high with the right hand, find that opening on this side. So we're opening up through the back of the right legs, the chest, upper back. Nice, keep those fingertips reaching high. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, bring that hand back down to your halfway lift. Let's release into your forward fold, plant the hands on the mat, and then step back into your plank pose. Nice, finding your plank, pressing the mat away, keep active in the arms and the upper back. We're here for 3 and 2 and 1. And then as we inhale, come forward. Let's exhale to bend the elbows, lower down. Inhale to open up into your upward facing dog. Can we hold here? Can we let the hips relax and drop down to the floor? Can we maybe send the gaze out over the right shoulder, dipping the left hip down? Bring the gaze back through center. Take the gaze out over the left shoulder, dip the right hip to the floor. Coming back through center, taking a big inhale, and then exhale to lift the hips. Send it up and into your downward facing dog. Cool. From here, we should be nice and open through the backs of the legs. So can we find our 3-legged dog here? So keep the left foot planted. As we inhale, we're going to reach the right leg up nice and high, just as high as feels good for you. We're going to bring a bend in through the knee and then open the hip out towards the side. So we're stacking the right hip on top of the left. We're strong through the arms. We take a nice big inhale, and after your exhale, return that foot all the way back to the floor. And we're going to inhale to come forward into your plank. Find a chaturanga, so exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back to your downward facing dog. We find our 3-legged dog on this side. So the right foot is planted into the mat. We're going to inhale, reach the left leg up nice and high, bend through the knee, and then open those hips out towards the side. So we are stacking this time left hip on top of right hip. Take a nice big inhale, full exhale, and then come all the way back to your downward facing dog for one good breath in your own time. And then send your gaze up in between your hands. Take a bend through both knees, step or hop all the way up into your forward fold. We're going to inhale, root down through the feet, reach the hands up nice and high, palms together at the top, and exhale, hands down to our chest. We're going to release the hands here, coming back into our mountain pose, back to exactly where we started. So our shoulders are opened, our chest is broad, palms of the hands facing forwards, and allow yourself to close the eyes here. Close the eyes and catch your breath. Notice how your body feels. Notice how you feel now in comparison to the beginning of this practice. Notice how your energy levels are feeling. And notice everything else that's going on around you, maybe noticing a slight sway of the body as the eyes are closed. You might feel the weight shift from one foot to the next. We bring our thoughts and our awareness back to that little intention that we set for ourselves at the beginning of this practice. And then if the eyes are closed, we can open up the eyes. We take a nice big inhale, reach up high, gather up all of that energy, gather up your intention in between your hands, and then exhale to bring your hands and your intention down and into your heart. And namaste, everybody. I hope you are feeling good. I hope you are feeling energized and a little bit more awake. Whatever you are getting up to, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. If you like this video, please like. If you would like to see more like this, please subscribe. And namaste.